G'day everyone, Artist Wayne here with another DR650 adventure. And this one's a ripper ride I did a couple of weeks ago, which had been organised by our mate Robert, who we hadn't seen for ages. In fact, I thought he may have been abducted by aliens. But that wasn't the case, and Robert had organised an awesome overnight weekend ride to Denman. 15 adventure riders, including wife Jackie and our mates Catherine and Sam, riding through a Rimba State forest, the Wadigans, and over to Laguna where we had morning tea. And the weather? Well, it was an absolute cracker of a day. In fact, the weather for the whole weekend was absolutely brilliant. And after our morning tea at Laguna, 7 of us riders split from the group. We were going to head through Yengo National Park, hit the Putty Road, jump onto the Commission, and from there we'd do an extra 40-kilometre loop over to Three Ways. And hopefully we'd be able to catch up to the group before we hit Denman. But not everything goes to plan when adventure riding. And it wasn't long after we left the last gate at Yengo and hit the trail that would take us to Three Ways that our mate Sam crashed his DR650. Which is really unusual because Sam's just like me and never crashes his bike. Poor Sam really did a job on himself. He absolutely shattered his left wrist. First we needed to hide Sam's bike.
We know it's right near the big wombat hole.
There was no way Sam was riding out of there.
Just wait, Sam. Who bandaged that up? Geez, that's a fine job, Sam, isn't it?
Artist Wayne Dowson, the Yowie Hunter, First Aid Responder Extraordinaire.
2 great blokes from the RFS came to Sam's aid after Greg had ridden off to find a place where he could get service and call for help.
See you, Sam. I've got the camera going. Wait. Thanks, fellas.
You're right, mate.
Alright, see ya.
Now, whilst I was waiting with Sam, Greg along with Ian had ridden out to meet the RFS and bring them back in. The other boys had already left and headed to Denman to let everyone know what had happened. So after we said our farewells, it was time for Ian, Greg and I to hightail it towards Denman for a shower, dinner, drinks and lots of laughter. Everyone was up bright and early the next morning getting their bikes ready. We all had breakfast in town, then it was time to hit the trails. We left the beautiful town of Denman and were now making our way through the back roads towards Jerry's Plains. And just before we hit Jerry's Plains, we turned off to hit the dirt trails that wind their way up the mountain towards the California Trail. We were all now making our way down the California Trail towards Bulga. That's where we'd have a little rest, say goodbye to some of the other riders who wanted to ride some other trails. We headed over to the Yango National Park for a nice leisurely afternoon ride all the way to Laguna. That's where we stopped for a late lunch. From there it was a leisurely road ride home. It had been an absolutely bonza weekend. Great company, great riding, great food and fantastic accommodation at Denman. So thanks Robert for organising such an epic weekend. And to my mate Sam, who now has his wrist wired, plated and plastered, get better soon buddy, we've got a lot more riding to do.